Hello everybody, I hope I'm audible right now, and let's just simply get started. In the morning I had to just leave because of some work, and right now here we are back, and we'll be starting from where we actually left. So this is how it's just simply gonna go on, and save it. Let's get the UI part done really quickly, probably by taking the help of AI and all, so that it's just easy to go ahead. So let me just simply copy it all, and once this is actually copied, then make it better. Well, that's bad. I'm not really gonna be writing it on my own right now, especially if the things can be just written by the AI. So we will just simply get it done, and we'll check whether it is as expected or not. The result is as expected or not. So going ahead, we have a few errors over here. So first of all, this is the these are the props that we are getting here, and after that this is the frame that we have. So frame in the sense, if frame editing state exists, then I'm just simply gonna find a frame with that particular frame ID. So the shape type should be frame, and there should be the frame ID. So I'll get the frame. Once I have the frame, we even have the state over here, so that's gonna be the value and the set value, and we are not really changing it directly. That is okay. So as we change the names, so this value will be changed, and whenever we click outside, the main value will be changed at that time. So frame id dot this, so whenever the frame id actually changes, at that time what happens, set value is gonna be frame dot text dot name. So whenever frame id changes, that simply means whenever we select a new frame, right, at that time, if there's no frame, then of course we are gonna be returning, but if there is a frame, then we'll be just simply setting this there, and if frame dot type it's not equals to frame, return from here. This is the first thing, and this is not gonna be well, because use effect should not be used like this. So if not frame or frame dot type is not equals to frame, in that case we have to just simply return from here. We are gonna save the value of it, and once the value is actually saved, the request animation frame, that simply means it's gonna run at initially actually. So the input is going to be focused, and frame name input, is this what we want? Whenever we double click, yeah, that's the same thing that we want. So current dot selects, that's gonna be selected, that's gonna be focused, that's good. And apart from this particular thing, when it comes to the styles, use memo, not frame, null, cdx, overlay, get context 2d, viewpoint, and help us kind of, we got the point. Once we got the point, we are gonna be getting the text dimensions, and over here, if not frame or frame dot type, if that's not equals to frame, in that case we have to just simply return from here. We have all the style over here, so point by that's the top one, right? So ultimately it is gonna be absolute, and once this is absolute, so from the left it will be point dot x, from the top it will be point by minus height minus tolerance, that is right. And width is gonna be width plus 20, height is gonna be height plus 20, that's the extra width. Extra width around what? Extra width width plus 20, so 20 pixels are extra. We'll see exactly how it works. Font size is gonna be frame text font size px, and font family is gonna be this. Whenever this changes at that time, ultimately what is happening, we are using use memo over here. This use memo is used. So use memo is mainly used for caching the result of, or yeah, sort of caching the result of the objects, and use callback is used for functions. So use memo versus use callback. Use memo caches the result of a function. Use memo caches the result of a function, whereas use callback caches the function itself. That's the simple thing. So this is how it just simply goes on. Position is gonna be absolute as const, that is right, and these things are done. Once that is done, finish editing. So whenever, if not frame, to update your frame in the store here, update the frame name, set frame editing state is gonna be null. So ultimately what we have to do, update your frame in the store here and update frame name. So update frame, so the frame ID is gonna be the same, but just the name is gonna be changed over here. So ultimately if I want to implement this, I need to just change it as per the need. And apart from this particular thing, we'll be working on this. And this finish editing is actually triggered when on handle key down I actually click enter. In that case we are gonna call this, and otherwise if we click escape, in that case we are gonna call if we are clicking escape, then set value is gonna be equals to frame.text.name. so the same shape is will be set there. That's fine. So whenever we are handle clicking down, so if not frame dot type as simple as that. If that is equals to escape, so we are just simply setting the value to the previous one, and set frame editing state, that's gonna be null. Spell check class name bg, this seems to be alright. On blur finish editing, that simply means whenever I click outside, this particular function gets triggered. There's another way as well, like as soon as I click outside, if the clicked shape has the frame editor, so that simply means we clicked on the frame editor, otherwise we did not click on that. And then we have something called on blur, and that is also good. Let's check this thing out. Usually how it looks like. Reload this, and so this actually looks like this. We have to update it there, so let's just simply work on this as well. So update frame name, right? So just write here I'm gonna get the frame ID, that's gonna be a string. I'm gonna get the value, that's a shape that is gonna be used. Set shapes, and previous shapes. What do we have to do? We actually have to do what? Updating the frame. We are updating the frame name, right? If shape dot frame ID, that's actually equals to frame ID, This needs to be even better because we just wanna change the text. That simply means if we return from a map, then what happens? Mm, mm, I have to get this right, and this will have the responsibility of updating the shape. And probably we need to have update a shape here. Let's see what happens. Most of the things I'm gonna be offloading to the AI, as long as I understand that that's enough. So let's see what's the difference. So preview shapes, will frame, return a shape, and the return a shape dot ID is will frame the shape and the text. So shape dot text. This is sort of right. So what was the problem in my case? So text is gonna be not this one. Sorry, we would do something like this. So a shape dot text will just simply spread everything. Name will be the value itself. I think this should be alright. So this should be running. So we are doing the same thing here. We are restructuring the shape, getting the shape, and the name is gonna be the value, and we are returning this. So that's exactly the same thing being done here. So we are sort of updating the shape. So when it comes to this, so So we are able to change that, but not at once. So whenever the pointer app actually happens, pointer should actually not do anything, but when I click outside, then there's something should happen. What are we missing right now? What is the issue? The thing is that when I click on it, double click, it appears, and it is selected by default. So of course we can just simply change the name. So let's not selected by default. First of all, this. So whenever update frame it was already here, that is something that we created, and whenever this use effect runs, we have it here, right? Handle this. There is a use effect, if I'm not wrong. This one, it is selected by default. I'm not gonna be selecting this, so it should be just focused. So if I just double click, so it is focused, and now I can just simply, even selection doesn't really do anything as such. So now what I have to do, I have to remove that somehow. So removing the removing this part, so especially when it comes to rendering a frame, when it comes to drawing, and we are actually gonna draw what we are going to draw shapes, and that's gonna be frame.ts. So over here we are getting hovered, and on the basis of that thing we are deciding the border color. What I have to do that if we have the hovered, that simply means we clicked on that. So at that time, the text that I actually have, I don't have to draw that. If I have the border color, then that should be drawn as well. So when I double click on the border, it should appear, and when I click outside, it should disappear. When I double clicked and that got selected, that simply means there is an ID, and that is the hovered one. Then ideally things should change here. Well, this is not the right way. I'll actually have to figure out another way that can be suitable for this. Just a second. Alright everybody, welcome back. So what are we supposed to be doing here? There are many things, there are a lot of minor changes that we just need to make here. First of all, once we actually click outside, it should go away, but it is not going away. Let's not worry about the state as well. First of all, let's focus on this part. Finish editing, finishing editing, update frame name, simply updates the shape, and after invalidate, what do we have to do? Invalidate what? Invalidate probably scene. To invalidate the scene, we need to have const renderer use canvas renderer, and from here I want to invalidate the scene, right? Invalidating scene, yeah, that's right. Invalidate scene, and let me get invalidate and invalidate overlay as well. Let's see which one works better here. Overall, what should I be doing? That is just once we said that invalidate the scene, that should be fine. So how about just invalidate? We even have to move the text along with that, and this is something we haven't really been doing. So we don't have to move the text, that is for sure. So as soon as I click outside, it should actually disappear, because if I have this, then I am moving this, but when I'm actually moving it, so this is not the text area, this is just normal text shape, right? That is why we are able to move this. Same thing we have to do here. So somehow I have to trigger this. Come on, what is the issue? There are many bugs, that is for sure, but let's fix them one by one. This is the frame I have. Changing the names, the name got changed, moving it here and there, but name is only getting changed when we double click. So when I click outside of this frame, at that time it should, especially when we click on anywhere except this one, so it should be, so when I click anywhere except this particular box, it should be saved. So ultimately that's gonna be the input box. For that thing we are using on blur finish editing. Let's see whether this is actually getting called or not. Well, that's not getting called. Double clicked, edited something, clicked outside, that is not getting called. If that's not getting called, finish editing, in that case if this is not happening the way I want it to happen, handle change set event.target.value, that is also fine. And finish editing is sort of the important one, so this only works when we click escape or when we click enter, then yeah, it does the job. So clicking enter triggers this. I can just have my name, okay. If that's empty, then nothing happens, so we'll have to take care of it. So when the text is actually empty, On change, handle change event dot target dot value, the value is actually set. What if the value is actually empty? In that case, it is still set. So handle change just simply changes this. We are gonna get the value over here. This is gonna be the change event. We will get the target dot value, and that value is gonna be saved over here. So it is being changed. And when we click outside, that simply means finish editing. It should be sort of finishing the editing, but I'm not sure if this is running. So when we click enter, finish editing is getting triggered, and when we click escape, finish editing is not getting triggered. So handle key down. When we click enter, we call this finish editing. When we click escape, set value is gonna be name. Frame ID is actually gonna be null, so that is fine. What's the next thing? This is not working as expected on blur. So if on blur is not working as expected, so what can we do here? On blur is not working. Okay, we can check a click. We can check a click on the canvas, and yeah, if when we actually get a shape, if the shape is not the texture, or not even that, so when it comes to editing a shape, right, so at that time what are we doing? We are so we wanna edit a shape. That simply means when we click on it the second time, it starts getting edited. And when I click outside, clicking outside means we are drawing all these things, and at the end of the day we are trying to do what? When the pointer of happens, it just appears. So in the hooks we have text editing state, and on pointer down text. So what do we actually do? We just simply create a text. That is also fine. Text is also being created. So whenever I click outside, that simply means give me a break for 10 to 15 minutes. I'm actually this is really bad, but my mind is not able to work at its full consciousness. I'm sort of feeling sleepy right now. I have been just to market, and after coming from there I thought of going live directly, but unfortunately I still need to just take some rest. After that I'll be back and continue from here on. So it's just gonna be a break for 15 minutes, not more than that. After that I'll be back. So at by 3:40 or something I'll be back and we'll continue from here on. Excuse me for now, and then we'll be back and fix the remaining things. Then it would be great. Alright then.